Yeah, this is a small code will create our backend to S3. And did you understand the script?
This versioning is only available with S3 bucket, or uh, I think other clouds won't provide versioning, right, for their storage accounts and I mean to say S3 bucket.
Sorry, I could not get you. Can you ask me again the question?
Thing is that this S3 is when we use, I mean to say, this versioning is only available for S3 in AWS, not in similar kind of like Azure or GCP.
Exactly. Exactly. In Azure, the versioning is maybe done by default. Maybe I was not that much expert in Azure. Maybe I think that it's done by default and maybe at the back end. But for AWS, should be mandatory mentioned. Otherwise, the versioning will be disabled for the system.
No, I think versioning is not available in this one, Azure, I guess.
Yeah, yes, that's what.
Yeah.
Maybe they will have some other mechanism, maybe instead of versioning. I am not sure how exactly Azure is maintaining that. Yeah. Maybe in a different way. Even Azure Blob has a bit advantages in this backend than AWS. I can show you where is that advantage comes into picture.
Okay.
Okay. So AWS is flexible to use. Azure is a bit complex, but still the advantage is there for Azure. Anyhow, this code snippet you understood, right? How exactly you are going to create a backend bucket. You are going to create by using a resource, then the bucket name. My bucket should be private bucket. It should not be a public bucket. Then I'm going to give tags to that bucket. Then I given versioning should be enabled. Then something server-side encryption is enabled. What algorithm it should use? So with that, I created a code to execute my backend. See, once it's very much important in Terraform, when you do any modifications to backend or when you do any modifications to modules, you have to reinitialize the script. So I have to run Terraform init. So if you see any time, let me show you practically. I'm just running a Terraform init command here. You observe it. The first step it is doing is initializing the backend. The next step it is doing is initializing the providing plugins, right? So the first step, it clearly shows it is doing a backend. So when I configure my backend to a different cloud source, so Terraform need to understand where is my backend. So I have to reinitialize it. When I do it on AWS, I have to run again Terraform init so that Terraform checks this snippet and creates the bucket and installs the backend. Clear? Simple. When I do change my backend, I have to run Terraform init command. So that Terraform will write its configuration file to point to the newest backend. Maybe if not clear?
Yeah.
Fine. This is the code which helps us to create backend on AWS. I'll show the code for Azure as well. Give me a minute. So Azure has a different concept. Azure, we need to create a storage account. If you want to use the storage, Azure Blob storage, if you want to use any storage in Azure, maybe Blob or file-based or volume-based, whatever it is, you have to create a storage account. So maybe to create the backend, first of all, I have to create a storage account at Azure level. this, the first one is data. This small code represents that I am going to fetch the existing resource group. So already the resource group by name, some resource group was already mentioned, which was I have given in a variable. The resource group I am going to fetch from my Azure account. So this is how you fetch any in AWS or Azure when you want to fetch this data. So this is mandatory. Guys, give me a minute. Okay, my headset has some problem. Give me a minute. Okay, I'll be on mute for 2 minutes, please. Guys, are you able to hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this one in any AWS or Azure or even VMware, wherever you want to use Terraform to get extract or get the existing resources. So we use data resource. So this is how we can fetch the existing resource. Okay, and next resource Azure storage account. As I said, the cloud provider is Azure RM and the type of resource is storage account. So I given a logical name storage account. Then name of that backend, whatever could be some name, variables. I'll show you the variables as well right now. And the resource group, see the name, see the syntax, how exactly I'm giving. Please remember this. So I'm taking from data Azure. So which was the data fetched from the above data resource. So I'm going to get value to here. Then the location and account type standard. So the application replication type, GRS, tags, for my information. This will create my storage account. Then I'm going to create a container, storage backend container. So the resource type is storage container, and I given a logical name, and name of the container is some variable before that. Okay, then storage account name is the name which created above. We're using this, and you please remember that how exactly I'm accessing the storage. Sorry, the resource of other uh, block, how AWS storage, then the logical name, then name. So in Azure, everything will be called by using name. So storage name, and the container access type is again private, the same as access type. So this code will create a backend in Azure block. So any doubts in this code? Let me show you the variables so you'll understand better. See, the container name, I put it as Terraform state file, and the backend key I put it as Terraform .tf state. As I said, the name should be Terraform.tf state. The backend key, the file name should be Terraform tf state file. Whereas the folder, I can say, we say in AWS as bucket, and we say here container, almost. The container name should be tf Terraform state files or something, whatever it is. It should be unique across the globe. So when you want to deploy this, this one was totally commented out. This is how exactly we represent our backend. Let us do that. Please remember we created the required resources for my backend. But at Terraform, how exactly the backend should be implemented is by using this code. So I think if you do practically, people will better understand rather than yes. Okay, let me do it on AWS. Yeah. So any doubts you can ask me, please. Creating one more directory by name backend. Since I did not set any path to it, I have to copy my Terraform file. It's not a good practice for me. Guys, kindly can someone can please mute it. Okay, let me see the difference. Now my backend is local. I did not initialize any other backend apart from default. So let me initialize my Terraform. An empty directory, okay? Because I haven't mentioned any provider. Since it is a string, I should put it in double quotes. Yes, now my provider getting initialized. Now my backend will be local. So let me create a small EC2 instance. So you'll understand. If you get any confusion while I was doing on console, please stop me anytime. Okay. Now I'm just copying the files which was we previous created in EC2 instance, so that to show you live where is my backend at the moment. Yeah, please. Someone is asking something.
While you do in console, try to narrate in between so that it will go into recording. If we see afterwards, then it will be much easier to understand.
Exactly. Nice one. Exactly. So I did copied the EC2 instance which we created in the last class just want to execute here so that to show you the default backend where exactly it is going to happen. Let's see. And one point you have to remember is while initializing, okay, before creating any Terraform files, the backend is the one which is first executing. If you notice this. So if you want to change any backend, so I have to first create my backend, execute my backend, and initialize my backend. Then I can start using that backend. So let me check whether I have my AWS connectivity.
So to tell Terraform that this is particular backend, or what is that we do? Like we create a folder or type a string somewhere. How is that? So I did just join late, so I think
no problem. That's fine. Whether you create a folder like what I'm creating right now, or whether you go for a module, which actually I have shown is a module, which the live I have shown the code is a module. So it was inside the module, where a specific basic module I can say. If you say Ansible or anything roles, right? There will be a common role, which a common role will be executed to each and every environment, and there will be role specific, maybe install some applications or DB, whatever it is. The same fashion, in Terraform, we can create modules where I can create a common module, where the common module is applicable to all, and the different type of modules, the same fashion, but in a different way, where how Terraform supports it, because each and programming language will not support the same format. Okay, modules we can discuss it in the next class, which is also very much tricky and important, like variables.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, yesterday actually, I'm for practice purpose, I just created EC2 instances. So while applying Terraform, apply init, all those steps done, and EC2 instance also created well. So I didn't see that initializing backend that one came right. So I didn't see that.
Did you type Terraform init after after entering the provider?
Okay, you mean to say in init stage it will display?
See here, I simply did it. Even though you write complete script, everything, and just give Terraform init so that it will install the required plugins. Did you able to execute it using Terraform?
Yeah, I executed and created.
Then maybe I skipped it. Maybe definitely it will show you actually.
Okay.
This one.
I will try once again.
Definitely, yeah, please. So I hope I have all the files. The next, guys, please tell me what is the next step I have to do. After init, then validate.
Plan then.
Yeah. Then plan.
I think you missed one variable.
Not missed it. Actually, I given a runtime variables here. If you notice it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you notice it, this is the one I have to give this file name so that it will not ask.
Okay. After a plan, it is like apply, right?
Exactly. I given here the variable name. Okay, let me give that. Terraform plan. How exactly I have to give? Can someone say? Remember?
Target, you mean to say? Target file we need to specify. Okay.
So and so services. So one plan to add, which is a simple EC2 instance. Let me go and apply. So in apply, there is a small trick here when you're doing in CI/CD pipeline. They will not get any options to press yes, no, or something, right? You go this option. So it won't ask you your permission to execute it. It simply straight away go auto approve. So meanwhile, let me log into my AWS console. For AWS, never try to log into root account. It's not a good practice.
This is your free account or you are paying for that?
And I am paying for it.
How
So
much
whatever
it
I
costs, like
created,
monthly and all?
let me show you. Already, I think I need to pay something here. $2 or $3. No problem. That's fine. It's fine. Just leave it. Yes, let's see whether the EC2 got created for me. Yeah. Why there was two? Which one created? I got 50, 60. This one created. Why this is up? I think they will blast me now, AWS, because this was OPOS and I don't know when they started it and it's just simply running. Anyhow, so the AWS AEC2 instance got created. Now our important task is to check where exactly the state file is stored. The state file is stored in my local machine. Let me cat this file and see what are the contents in this file before. So all my regarding the information of my AWS account will be stored here. What is my AMI used? Is the CPU count? Everything, CPU credentials, everything will be stored here. So when I rerun it and where it is created, the ARN number. So everything will be stored here. The security group is default, and what is the volume? And volume size is 8 GB with GP2. Yeah, and my private key as well. This is where I feel it's insecure to store in Git. Now, with this, we were very much happy that it was created. Now, let's go to the remote backend. How exactly we need to create? Before that, let me destroy this. Let it go. No need. Yeah, please, someone. So I am destroying it. Okay. Now it asks me whether really you want to continue since I missed auto approve option. So when you are going for destroy, Okay, when you are going for CI/CD pipeline, when you want to automate this as well, try to use that option, auto approve, so that it will not ask you. Else, the CI/CD pipeline will get failed waiting at user input.
I think other two guys got disconnected. Maybe poor internet connection.
Could be.
Yeah.
No problem. Let's continue.
Okay. We
Yeah.
can send the recording here.
Yes. Yep, the resources got destroyed. Look into here. When we destroy it, our state file will be taken a backup, as we discussed previously. So this backup file can be used in future when I want to redeploy the same code. This is the local backup, local backend. Now let me try to initiate my remote backend.
Other can you go on mute?
Just I destroyed it. I destroyed it, and I was saying about that this has created a backup file.
Okay.
Let me copy this. I don't need the provider. So I need a variable which were declared. If you see, notice the variables are empty here because I'm passing the variable set runtime. So let me pass to the runtime variable. This center is already there. Let me change this. Fine. Now we all set to use the resources which need to be created for our backend. Let me execute the same program. So it will create automatically EC2 as well. So can I remove this EC2 instance at the moment? So let it be there. Terraform validated. I'm expecting a question here actually.
Yeah, you only ask us and explain.
As I said that when I write a remote file, I have to do a initialization, but I have done it. I haven't done
Oh, okay. You
it.
mean to say you didn't execute the init command?
Yes, exactly. Why? The reason is simple. I didn't even given the backend yet. I was only creating the backend resources at the moment. The actual backend resources will be given where we require it. I'll show that. Okay. Once we give the backend resources to say Terraform to use this backend, then I have to do initialization. Now I've just created the resources, backend resources which were created. At the moment, these are only resources for Terraform. Remote is cc2.df, output.df, then that's it. .df output. So remaining files, so these files, remove this var.df var, remove this state file. See, these are not required for our better understanding. I'm just removing it. Okay, these are not at all required because I don't want to create one more EC2 instance for this, which is costing me. So I want to reduce the cost. Now this is our plain required configuration for to create our S3 bucket. Again, I'm doing the same mistake. I have to do hyphen var hyphen mistake. It should be file. Yeah, it's going to create a S3 bucket. Let's plan it. Before this, I want to avoid that AZ value as well. Do AZ.
Yeah. Why
Yes,
did it ask? Because we did not provide here.
exactly. We did not provide its value. So when you declare a variable and if you don't provide the value for the variable, Terraform asks you while executing it. Okay, let's try to execute the script. Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file. Give the file name as S3. No value for the required variable.
I think you have to put quote or something in there.
Valid one, yes. Yeah, do you want to perform? Yes. Oh my god, I should put yes always. Let's come to our AWS and go to our S3.
Okay, Terraform Omtech Y as in Linux, right? You have to put complete yes, right?
Yes. To avoid that, we can use the option auto approve. Yes, you have to put it.
Yeah, but auto approve could be dangerous. Like you would run
Exactly.
some script. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the reason people generally will do is while planning itself, they put it carefully. See, the file has created. The bucket is created in AWS console. It is an empty bucket which doesn't have any values. Now it's our duty to use this bucket as Terraform backend. Yes. Again, go to our GitHub and try to copy the page, our code. This is the code. The remaining codes, I used modules here. These are this is not required right now. This is the code which shows that our backend is S3. At the moment, please note that the Terraform state files are created on local machine. See, I can create a separate file or I can include in backend also. So let's try to include in backend. For your better understanding, it will be easy. Please note the syntax. So it starts with Terraform and start the block, and the backend name is S3. S3 is a keyword here. So it knows that it's an AWS. The bucket name, give our bucket name. We created with this. The bucket name is 2345. Let's change accordingly. 2345. And this is a key, which is an object. So it's the key path. It is global under global. So under bucket, there will be a directory known as object name as global. Under global, there will be S3. Under that, Terraform T state file will be stored. And the region is AP South. Now let's see. So everything is configured to make our remote bucket. Now I have to execute Terraform init. This time I have to execute since I declared what is my backend. Previously, I only created resources.
Okay, so in this,
the root module configuration errors may be fixed by running the configuration upgradation tool. So the Terraform is keeping the backend installation. Yeah, please, you're asking something?
yeah, I was just checking what was the content of that backend directory.
Mm-hmm. Duplicate backend configuration. The module has one backend configuration. The backend was previously configured backend.tf. Oh, that's good one. This is a logical error. This is not an error from Terraform program. This is a logical error. I'll show you. Let's resolve this. Yeah, please.
Yeah, nothing.
The problem is I created two files here. If I'm not wrong. Now it is initializing. Right? Do you want to copy the existing state file to new backend? So it means that the backend was created. If you say yes, it will copy the existing file to new backend. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Thing is that we have mentioned that backend in the backend.tf file, so it will pick the configuration from there and initialize that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how it happened, right?
Exactly. Now I have removed the TF file and put it in backend file itself because people may get confused. So I put it in single file. You see here, I put the relevant code in backend TF file itself. Okay, let's see. Let's refresh at AWS level. Let's see whether it's created. Yes, see. It got my Terraform state file. Okay, it clearly shows that it has removed from here. If I do any modifications from here, from now onwards, after configuring the backend, all the modifications will go into AWS S3. Clear? Backend?
Yes, Amar.
This is very important because people use a lot in our environment. This one, maybe workspaces may or may not use sometimes, but it's also very important. And modules is the top priority one after variables. And state files is the next one. These are all very, very important concepts in Terraform. Really. So this is how you create the backend. So let me destroy it and put me the code so that you can refer it when you want. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if any questions, thought of covering workspaces as well, but took a lot of time for state files itself. We'll go
Yeah,
slowly, no problem, because it's very important. These are main concepts in Terraform. If you understand, you can start using Terraform straight away. Yeah.
yeah. You just send the videos so that we can refer and try to practice it. And if you have any question, we can post it either in group or maybe in next session. Maybe we can resolve.
Definitely, definitely. Today, at any cost, I'll upload all the videos to my Google or OneDrive, whatever it
Okay.
is. I'll share it in okay group so people can download it. Fine. So, any questions? So, if no questions, then thank you for joining.
Yeah.